as you continue on more on those 10 days is notice if your thinking is very much like your parents. And then notice too how well that has served them. In other words this. Would you like to be at their place where they are, or would you like to be at a bigger place than they are?
Bigger.
So in order for you to be at a bigger place than where they are, you have to be very aware of the fact that you've taken in what they have given you, and there's no fault, no judgment, because we all parent the best way we know how. There is no manual out there that says, this is how to parent for success, right? But you've got to know whether or not you want to remove some of that and pull out the weeds and have greener grass and use a different kind of fertilizer to get a different result. Yes? Does that make sense? And you strive for that all the time. You strive, strive, strive. Right? I tell my children all the time to strive for a bigger and better place than I have created. And so my daughter is very much like you, and in the same age bracket. So she says to me, "Why, Mom?" And I have to be very careful. Right? Because she's lived a very comfortable life. And I have to be very careful that I don't allow her to live in that comfort zone, that I'm always pushing her out of that comfort zone. Right? And we're always afraid. What is the one thing that everybody in this whole wide, well, there's two. But one of the two things that everybody in this whole wide world is afraid of? Fear. Well, there's fear, but what are you afraid of?
Failure.
It's something you do. It's something you do. Age.
Not winning.
Speaking in public.
Yes.
Really?
Right? Some of you guys have that fear, yes?
Yes.
Some of us don't.
No.
Not me. Right? But some of us don't. Some of us like to speak, right? But that's the number one fear, right? The second one. What is it? Okay, well, that comes behind the fear. That's what makes us have that fear. But the second one is selling. Oh my God, no, I don't want to sell. I don't want to be a pushy salesperson. No, I don't want to sell. I'm not a salesperson. Yes or no?
Well, you're selling it.
But aren't we afraid of selling? Oh, I don't want to join because I don't want to sell. 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 And I know that, and I'll tell you why. Because in the one of the companies that I'm actually building leaders at is a network marketing company. Right, and it's a very strong company, and I'm doing very successfully. I'm right now working with a group of Gen Wires, which is you, which is the 20-somethings, right? And they're doing fantastically once I get them behind that fear. But that fear that you're talking about, fear of rejection, is the reason we don't want to sell. But if we take a look at that, so we take a look at what's behind those thoughts that you're having? What are those fears behind those thoughts? That's important for you guys to look at that, yeah? So not only are you writing down the thoughts, you're starting to analyze them. Now I want you to go deeper and analyze them. Why do you think you're having that thought? So that's your homework. Why do you think you're going to have 2 homeworks this week? Why do you think you're having that thought? You want to stop it and then we'll start it for the homeworks?